Do you have night leg cramps? Are you tired of waking up in the middle of the night because your calves are cramping? If you are, you're not alone. There are many people who suffer from night leg cramps, and they won't know what to do about it. In this video, we go in to explore one mineral that can be very effective at getting rid of those night leg cramps. Let's dive right in. So first off, let's talk about what causes these night leg cramps. There are several different theories out there, but I'm going to share with you the one that makes the most sense to me based on my experience. Treating patients over the last 20 years. Okay, so when it comes to magnesium, there are two main types of products out there. You need to cut back on the dose until you find the right amount that works for you. Also, I should mention that magnesium can interact with certain medications like tetracyclines, like quinolone antibiotics, like PPIs, like acids, and also birth control pills. It's kind of like an helper molecule that helps magnesium become activated. And so if you're low in B1, then even if you take magnesium, it's not going to work that well. So I would recommend taking a B1 that is a methylated version. So you want to look for something like this. Okay, this is the active form of B1 that our body uses. And I would recommend taking 100 milligrams at night before bed along with the magnesium. So if you're on one of those medications, then make sure you talk to your doctor before starting to take magnesium and the vitamin B1. You're not only going to potentially stop those night leg cramps, but you're also going to promote better sleep. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. If you want to add to that, I would also recommend taking some melatonin. Melatonin is another hormone that can help you sleep. And I usually recommend anywhere between 1 to 3 milligrams, depending on the person. If you have a mild situation, then maybe just take 1 milligram. If you have a more severe situation and you really need to sleep, then maybe take 3 milligrams. One is called inorganic, salts like magnesium oxide and magnesium citrate, and the other is called organic acids like magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, and magnesium aspartate. For night leg cramps, take 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate at night before bed, and also take 100 milligrams of vitamin B1, the methylated version. One is migraines. If you'd like to learn more about using magnesium for migraines, I put a video up right here. Check it out. So also, if you're enjoying my content, which I hope you are, we're applying this knowledge to your health and you have a success. I would really appreciate you sharing your success story. So click the link down below where you can upload your success story so you can help inspire others. And then, if you want to add to that, you can add in some melatonin. There are other things that you can do to reduce the frequency and severity of these cramps, like stretching, making sure you stay hydrated and elevate your legs. But adding in this magnesium B, one can be very effective at reducing these cramps. The key here is to take an organic acid form of magnesium, because it's going to be much more bioavailable and better absorbed into your body. Magnesium citrate is probably the most common form of magnesium that people take, because it's pretty cheap and it does have a good absorption rate compared to some of the other forms. But the problem is that magnesium citrate is considered a strong laxative. So if you take too much of it, you can get diarrhea. On the other hand, magnesium glycinate is considered a much more gentle form of magnesium, and it doesn't have the laxative effect. So this is why I recommend taking magnesium glycinate at night to reduce your risk of getting the runs. So the theory is this, that when you're laying in bed at night, if you have low magnesium levels, your body will try to compensate for that by pulling more magnesium out of your muscles and tissues into your blood. Well, I typically recommend anywhere between 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate at night before bed. Now, some people may need a little bit more, some people may need a little bit less. But I would start off with 200 milligrams and work your way up to 400 milligrams and see how that works for you. It may take a couple weeks for you to notice a difference, but stick with it and see if it helps. And like I said, if you notice loose stools, then just back off on the dose a little bit. And so if you're already low in magnesium, which a lot of people are, that can cause your muscles to become overly excited or hyperactive, leading to a cramp. Okay, now there's actually studies to back this up. They did a study where they looked at the magnesium levels of people who had leg cramps at night versus those who did UNT. Well, guess what? The same study that found that people with low magnesium have these night leg cramps also found that if you took magnesium, you could get rid of them. So there's definitely a connection here that magnesium can help with these cramps. Now there are other things that can help, like stretching, hydrating, and keeping your legs elevated. All those things can help. But today, I want to focus in on magnesium because it's something that you can take that very easy. It's non-toxic. You can take high doses, and it's very effective at reducing the frequency of these cramps. And guess what they found? People who had the leg cramps at night had significantly lower magnesium levels than those who didn't have the cramps. Now, I will put a link down below of all the studies that we're talking about today, but I think this explains why sometimes these leg cramps will wake you up in the middle of the night, because your body will literally go into a state of emergency and start pulling magnesium out of your tissues and muscles to try to bring your blood levels up. And if you're low in magnesium, then your muscles are going to cramp, because now you're just depleting the little bit of magnesium that you have left. Okay, so how do you get rid of these night leg cramps? However, there are many forms of magnesium, and I'm gone tell you which ones are the best and which ones you should avoid. Now, it is important to mention that if you do take magnesium and you do have loose stools or diarrhea, then you probably are taking too much of it. All right, so now that we've talked about the type of magnesium to take, let's talk about the dose. How much should you take? I also recommend taking vitamin B1, and here's why. Vitamin B1 helps magnesium work better in your body. Well, the cool thing is that if you take the magnesium glycinate at night... All right, so let's recap. Since we're talking about magnesium, there's a couple other conditions that magnesium can help with.